All right, 5.4 has to deal with what we call complex numbers. We split 5.4 into two sections, 5.4a and 5.4b. 5.4a, we're just adding and subtracting complex numbers. So what do you think 5.4b is going to be? Multiplying and dividing. Today we're just adding and subtracting them. Okay, so what we just talked about with the square roots is actually going to help us. Okay, so the first thing we need to ask ourselves is, what is a complex number? And this is the only bit of notes we have to do. A complex number has a standard form. And in that standard form is going to be a number A plus a number B, but that B is an imaginary number. Okay, so we're going to have a real number, which is this part right here, plus an imaginary number. So that's why they are called complex. It's a half of a real number, half of an imaginary number.
Why do they call it imaginary?
So, example 1. All we want to do here, for example 1, is your instructions are just to write as a complex number in standard form. This is the standard form, and we just want to write it as a complex number. So what we have to do is we combine our like terms here. What are our like terms? 8 and 5, and negative I, and positive 4i. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to rewrite it taking down the parentheses. So 8 minus I plus 5 plus 4i. Because does that plus change anything on the inside? No. And then let's combine our like terms. What is 8 plus 5? 13. And negative I plus 4i? Plus 3i. Does this form look like the standard form?
Yes.
Yep, so that's all we have to do for this one. All we're getting used to right now is writing the complex number. Okay, so try this one. 7 minus 8i plus 8 plus 9i. Write it in standard. Alexis, what am I going to do first?
You take out the parentheses.
I take out the parentheses. Why can I do that?
Because it's just
Because it's just addition, right? Feet down.
and then
Okay, so it's going to give me what, Alexis?
and then 7 minus 8i plus 8 plus 9i combines this.
Oh, I wasn't even going to ask you. Okay, we combine like terms.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And then 15 plus 9.
So it's going to be 15 plus negative 8 plus 9i plus I. Is that in standard form, you guys? Yep. So that's my answer. So let's try a subtraction problem. All right, now addition doesn't change the signs of anything, but what happens when we have a subtraction? Right, we distribute the subtraction sign into the parentheses. And so now let's rewrite it. That gives me 7 minus 6i. Negative times 3 gives me negative 3 plus 7i. Now I can combine like terms. 7 minus 3 gives me 4. Negative 6i plus 7i plus I. Then that's in standard form, right? Now our standard form always has I at the end. I know that up to this point, remember we always put the variable in front and the constant at the end, right? We've always been writing everything like x plus 2, and then that would be our answer. I always goes at the end in complex numbers. Okay? Why? Because it's actually, I is actually what? Square root of negative 1, right? And square roots come last. So that's why I comes last. Okay, so try example 4. Oh, here, I'll leave 3 up for you. I don't know. Cyrus, what do I do first? Just take them down? I have a minus here, though, so what do I have to do? So what I would get this. Yes? Does everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Carlos, why don't you agree? Yeah, we have to distribute the negative. So that would make our 3 a negative, but that's going to make 2i what? A positive 2i. Okay? In the previous examples, when we're adding, we've really been distributing the positive also, but multiplying a positive doesn't change the signs. Okay? But when we multiply by negative, we do have to. Okay? So we distribute the negative, and then we rewrite the whole thing. Okay, and then what do I do, Becca? Then what do I do?
You have to combine like terms.
Exactly, I combine like terms. So I would get negative 5 minus 3, which gives me negative 8. And negative 2i plus 2i, what happens there? It cancels, so what's my answer going to be? Negative 8.
Boo.